I think it's going to be interesting as well because we'll get to see Na'Vi play a T-side now. We didn't really get to see all too much of them. We just saw them defending, receiving those plays from Big. But now it is as you mentioned, Big start on that T-side. They won't have to worry about taking that initiative as much, setting the pace as much. It's going to be more about adapting to your opponent. And I am so curious to see if we can see more of that simple defense also replicated on the offense. And we are about to find out because we have started the pistol round. We are live, map 2 here. Big versus Na'Vi, and indeed Na'Vi on the offensive.
Yeah, Na'Vi 2 for 2 on pistol round so far. Can they continue that trend here on Nuke? 4 sets of Kevlar for Big. Got B with a CZ. Always nice to have a CZ in a rush position. As you can see, Smear's in the vent. The thing is, if you're going to play here, you want a CZ, because with a USP, I mean, at least he won't be shooting their Kevlar, or a 5.7 would he be even better. 20 bullets would be quite nice. Looking for the one shots towards the ramp position, but no advantage just yet for either side.
Yeah, it's like a knife edge here. You don't want Tizian to go down. He's going to be more interested in just falling down to the lower site rather than putting himself in an at-risk position. And Simple, and meanwhile, is by the squeaky door, looking for that opening, looking for someone to get a bit too greedy on their peaks, and he can shut them down. But no one just yet. They'll push in anyway. My goodness, Blamey just 180 out of the door there. But it will be controlled here. That CZ in the hands of God B doing some damage. And now Na'Vi on the back foot. Oh, Tizzy's moved into a forward position. That's a master stroke. Catches both Zeus and Electronic. Unknowing, but it's Simple, James. And the 1v4 with a P250 and Kevlar. But oh, that is very nice, but not nice enough to stop the likes of Smuya. That's Big with the pistol. That's what you want to see.
Warning shots from Simple, but that was great tracking towards the ramp position there, with the player jumping as well. Very important frag, stopping them from escaping. Tizian, he's been good so far. So you see there's a low ceiling. Now the idea is that the T jumps off of the ceiling and lands quickly again to avoid being headshot. It's something you used to see RPK doing on Cash in, I think Saucy used to do that. He was famous for doing those kind of plays, so you see that leaking into CSGO as well. HE's being delivered to the outside. More vintage stuff. They'll do some damage. There's a flick there from Simple, and Smear's on 32 HP. Better be careful.
Yeah, that first scout tag might be a bit more coy now. Look, oh, down to 1 HP. Oh, he's in the open. Edward finishes him off with the Deagle. You can see that scout shot from Simple just doing so much there. And Smuya, he didn't want to give up the position, rightly so, but now a 5v4 for Na'Vi in this 4-spy scenario. And we'll have to see if they can convert on this. It can get awkward for Big, but this is a good map if you're a CT side. You lose a player, you just tighten your rotations, you tighten your defense, you can change the setup really easily as a team. Just have to make sure you don't give up any free 1v1s.
Next getting aggressive, and you can see Zeus's position. This is actually a common position on Nuke if you're playing anti-eco. That's a nice shot, monsieur. It's a strong position if you're playing anti-eco and most of your team are outside. If there's a push from ramp, if there's a push from Squeaky or from Hut, you can easily retreat. You've got lots of close quarters engagements where you can take a 1v1 and continue to fall back. So getting a frag there on an eco round is quite nice as well. And now we see the 30-second mark, and it's a 5 versus 3 for Na'Vi as they move into B.
This is very scary for Big. What are they going to be able to do about this? Just holding their ground for now is not a good look. Just need to keep hold of those guns. How have Na'Vi done this? How they've created a situation where they are 5v3 in the 4-spy. They've taken no damage, and they're going to get a bomb down and win the round. How have they managed to do that? That is a complete catastrophe for Big. Yeah. What do you do after this?
A lot of people say that the T side winning the second round is better than winning the first. I mean, a given is wiping out the CT players. Now 3 players are surviving for Big, so this will be a stronger round number 3 for the CT side. But there are absolutely advantages to be had, and if Big force around this next round and Na'Vi wipe them out, then it's pretty much a situation. So let's see if they can do that. Big opportunity for Na'Vi to have a great start to Nuke, already being 1 map up.
it's definitely, I mean, for Na'Vi as well, just looking at them in the last map and their temperament, again, a team that knows that they're destined for the finals. They're a championship level team, they're peaking into the playoffs, you know, it's just so smooth from them right now. It doesn't seem like anything could really distract them from how well they're playing and just this clean and crisp execution of the rounds in which they have planned. And Big, they need to throw something in the works here to make that Na'Vi machine come crumbling to a halt. We'll see Smia once again with that scout outside. Can he get something more this time? Last time was woefully inadequate.
Quite a difficult position, the silo, to deal with as a Smia, somebody going in and out of the garage. So many places you can stand on a silo, but very few places you can emerge from the garage. You see Gobby reading that position, looking for Zeus, but he won't get much of him. Next, wanting to get something, but when will he continue to push? Does he go for a ramp flank? Could there be somebody in that squeaky position? Perhaps not on this occasion. Zeus still waiting, 1 minute mark, and they can hear him jumping, but no one is engaging just yet.
Oh, that could be a pretty good nade indeed. Some additional damage done. Big's defense forced further and further back here. You can see Tabson just worrying about these very deep positions on that lower bomb site, and Electronic in the vent area. Na'Vi have spread themselves around the map quite effectively here, and that could start to really wear on this defense here, as it could get split up from Big's perspective, and they may have to be forced to some interesting 1v1s. And are they keeping a good read of this movement from Na'Vi? You can see that flank on the outside as well.
This almost looks like a 5-on-5 just on the B bomb site.
20 seconds to go. That's not too much time. That's a big 1v1 to win. How do they get the bomb down now? They got the smoke there. Oh, that's a good shot from Flamey. Just enough space for Symbol to plant the bomb, but they're also weak.
Taken out in the control room is Tizian. 3-on-3 now. Got putting a grenade out, but the timing is brutal. Zeus looking for stuff. There's a trade, and they continue now. They're both low. Smia can do this with the scout, but he's being too careful. Maybe he gets tagged. They're both so low, but they can't fight it. Are they nervous? Flamey with a headshot, a 2D. And that is the round for Na'Vi. You almost feel like, I mean, that was Big's round to win towards the end there. And you do wonder if the nerves are settling in, because they had so many opportunities and they didn't land a single bullet.
Yeah, that first shot from Flamey, that's what allowed them to really get that bomb down safely. And then just coming out huge with the deagle, seeing Simple's face afterwards, he could barely believe what he'd just seen. He thought the round was lost. And Flamey just delivers them another round. A very important one, again, just holding on to this economy and just keeping Big away from having an economy. It's so stressful. It's got to be so hard for Big to deal with. Everything seems to be going wrong after that pistol round once again. And Na'Vi, they've got a Mach 10 on Edwards, and Simple's got a scout. These are two players which are somewhat expendable. They can move them forwards to get information as to what the CTs are doing, and perhaps they can find safe passage to a bomb site.
This is a disastrous start now for Big. Disastrous. Pistol rounds, and Na'Vi can continue to make money, pressure this team. And if Big lose the first buy round, then they're really going to start to feel it. And already, I really feel like they are feeling the pressure based on all the misses in that round. The close range scout, the AK, again, it was just like 2 bullets of Flamey, unless it was a scout, of course, 1 bullet for the other player. Nobody doing anything. Edward's been delivering so far, raising his level for the major finals. 45 seconds, and it seems Na'Vi will start to move into the A site. Smooth going back, he'll be heard, of course. The numbers are there to trade for Na'Vi, and this is looking comfortable. Tizian alone now 1 versus 2. He's got an AK though, so don't count him out just yet. The bomb's on the floor as well, and he has an angle on it. So if he can avoid a player coming in from the hut, although he has to move to his right to catch somebody here. Oh, Edward manages to pick it up. Does he realize Tizian can win this?
That high position though from Flamey, that's going to be so difficult to deal with. They seem to have a good read onto where Tizian can be coming from as well. They have safe positions in the afterplant. A player low, a player high, that's always very tough to deal with. And it seems like Tizian's just going to back away, keep the AK, and he's He's not wrong to do so. He's got a smoke, he's got an AK-47, he's got no Kevlar. As soon as he's discovered, he's likely going to get traded. So he'll fall back and keep that AK alive into the next round, and that'll be something for Big.
I think if the door is open, he goes for it, but the door's closed. If he opens the door, it's almost a guaranteed 2v1. If he goes out the hut, he's at a massive disadvantage where his legs will get shot before he even sees anything if someone's on the high ground. So he will indeed save the weapon. 3-1 for Na'Vi. We look at the money on the CT side now, and it's not great, it has to be said. What will they choose to do, Big? Are they saving for the AWP? Tizian could buy an AWP actually, but then he would have no Kevlar, so no buy just yet.
And you can make a variety of different setups work on Nuke CT side. When we see the shotguns coming out I mean, I think, Nuke was actually one of the maps where you'd see a shotgun on the CT side played most of all. You would see it around the hut, around the squeaky door positions. It was always very popular there, and we've seen it as recently. Get Right made an amazingly, a very impactful clutch in Stockholm recently with that kind of a play. So that's always an option. You can be very flexible on the CT side because this map is all about those CT rotations. Unlike many other maps, you actually have the advantage from a rotation perspective.
Timeout from Na'Vi. Oh no, sorry, from Big, excuse me. Now let us see. What are they going to do? Seems they might buy around what they have. Tizian spent 4,700. Oh no, never mind. They're restoring the round, so we will wait to find out. So in an ideal world, Big have the money for an AWP. This is not an ideal world, but they are a map down, so maybe they wait for one. Already difficult decisions for Big early on Nuke, and we really don't know what to expect from Na'Vi on this map, so this will be a journey of discovery. Admin doing a bad job of hiding at the back.
I mean, we do not know what to expect from Na'Vi, but so far they've been just taking the mick, James. They've just been winning. They won a force buy with 5 players left alive and got the bomb down on the lower side. That's already ridiculous. And then able to convert off of that in two consecutive rounds, and that's really a bad sign for Big. There's no two ways about it, because if Na'Vi do have a playbook, I don't think that those first 2 rounds with them winning that force buy is part of that playbook. So that's a scary sign, and we'll see indeed a half buy here from Big, not spending all the dollars, so they will keep some in the tank, and they have the AK and some pretty strong pistols. He says the Eagle P250. So
look at this outside play. Molotov has gone up towards the silo position, and Tabsim's in position behind the box. So this is quite a setup from Big. So far, so good. But Edward will eventually jump on the silo. So Big have a plan for this round. There's a long flashbang, but doesn't quite do the job, and this becomes winnable for Big now with 2 frags.
Yeah, beautiful outside setup. They put all their chips in this push on the outside positions, and now it gets cleaned up by Na'Vi. They convert well, but still 2 pistols at large here for Big, as we'll see these weakened Na'Vi players definitely in a spot where they've got to take a great deal of care, because these pistols now, Flamey very, like 1 bullet from death and Zeus only a couple, they become very strong, and they look to even perhaps make a double peek back into the outside position and confirm information. Not just that, there's guns to be collected if the T's have gone already, but we can see they haven't. This could be a big moment here for Big. Can Nex and Smooya do it for the team?
This is basically pure guesswork now. So here's Zeus on the roof, but it's a gamble as to where you look, but still Nex gets the kill. Now they can reset the situation. They could just rotate somewhere else again, but Nex is stuck behind the box. He hasn't got time to run all the way back to hell. In the meantime, Na'Vi moving through the secret position, but will it be towards B? Already Smooya in the vent. He's not going to peek players as they move past, though. Surely they both go in. No, Flamey will catch him. Now Nex starts to creep with a CZ. It can be very dangerous, but Flamey's got a great angle, and that is the round rescued for Na'Vi, 4-1. But here comes the buy for Big.
Yeah, this is such a good start for Na'Vi, and that was, a good attempt from Big. It was cool to see they had a plan. That bait setup with the AK was really, really awesome, and hopefully they can use some of the momentum there, some of the success there, and convert that into this round. They've got that AWP, as you say, they've got that full buy to work off of, so we will get to see a proper round from them now. And Smooya, he's been a bit quiet so far in this series, and this would be a great time for him to stand up and deliver. There's no AWP for him to face outside. He's against AKs, so he has a chance here to do some damage.
Early grenades outside, Molotov inside to stop the CT being in main and being useful. That's a real problem. If you have a player, a T player moving in, blowing off the door, putting a Molotov in main, it's scary to have that every round is a problem. And now we've got Na'Vi moving towards a secret position. You see Electronic delivering some more flashbangs, and Smear delivers one kill. tabseN spotted a player in garage, and Smear's looking for him as well. So this looks good for Na'Vi. Oh no, he just took half a second to take his shot, but tabseN's there to trade.
That's a 4v3 now for Big as Na'Vi put on the heat here, trying to capitalize on these players in 4 positions. Edward does just that, down to 1 HP, barely escapes the flames. And he has to rely on Simple now. Edward isn't in no condition to take a fight. Maybe he can trade for Simple, but there are 3 players left, so the math does not favor them. And GodB finishes it off with a nade, so can't even entertain that idea. Down to Simple with 50 seconds. He's got the bomb, full Kevlar, Molotov, and AK-47, and, well, he's Simple. So let's see what he can do in this position. They don't know where he's coming from. Starting to edge his way into that lower bomb site. There's about 500 different places to check, it feels like, as he pushes through that hut position. It's very precarious. And as time runs low, eventually his hand will be forced into that bomb site. You can only wait for so long in his position. You can see him edging out slowly but surely. Where are these CTs? 15 seconds to go.
The CT is currently set up for the B bomb site. Now GodB starts to creep. He was watching the ramp position, I believe, but he knows that there's only so much time before they make that play. Moving into the site now, Simple's completely blinded. There's not enough time to plant the bomb, and they can't do any more damage. Big win their second round, 3 players surviving. Tizian rescues the AWP, and that's something for Big.
Where did that flash come from? That was just absolutely perfect. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah, he bounced it around the back of the silo, moved to his left, and it was really confusing for Simple. He basically threw it to where he thought Simple would try to avoid it, and he ate it. He ate that flashbang. Now, I don't know, I feel like, I do wonder if the nerves are getting to Smear. We've seen a few shots missed, or a moment's hesitation, which has been the difference between a frag and getting fragged. And those have to disappear quickly. I know his parents have made it down here as well, so maybe there's more on the line here. Something to show of himself. Not too late though, very early here in this game of Nuke, but Big have to win these consecutive rounds.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And it's so expensive when you lose so many players. You lose the AWPs, as we saw previously. As you say, like it does have a ripple effect. Smear going down in some of those spots, and tabseN always in such a good position here. That's a strong nade. Oh, that's some good damage there onto Na'Vi as they play these forward positions towards secret. tabseN just trying to slow them down as much as he possibly can. He's doing a good job of it, and Smear stays out there, so he can keep tabs on if Na'Vi double back into the yard or not.
A lurk smoke into the hut, but there's enough of a gap for next to see, and that's not really what Na'Vi wants, I don't think, assuming a player is on the hut. So that will make things a little better for Big. 5-on-5 continues as we reach the 40-second mark. So he's been taken down outside though, and now Edward's moving to flank the hell position.
30 seconds. Time is really indeed running low. Next is watching Squeaky. A big 1v1. He'll actually concede the position, just falling back. Doesn't want to go down and create an open passage for Na'Vi to get to a bomb site, but they really need to find a way in. They have 20 seconds now. Surely there's no time here for them as they just look to go into that lower bomb site. 15 seconds. Time is probably a bigger enemy for Na'Vi than Big at this point, as tabseN waits for us to just rush desperately onto the plant. Oh my goodness! Down so low. He can't prevent the plant. That's incredible. That's so important. Zeus gets it done.
You can see the frustration there. Tizian holds on though, but now we've got a very low Tizian at the back, and he has to just lurk and wait for the rotation. But GodB's already moved away. They've given up on this round, and it's about Tizian to try and slowly creep away, but Flamey will find him. And if they're lucky, maybe 2 players will survive. Next on the roof of A. And Na'Vi go back to winning ways. Round number 5 coming their way. It looks like 2 players will survive here for Big, but the money, this is too costly for the side.
If that bomb doesn't go down, James, that's it. There's no time. There's no time to play. It's incredible how that should have been a kill. That's crazy. I mean, it must be so frustrating for Big. Can you imagine being in their position? You need these rounds desperately, as you say. They need to start winning consecutive rounds. You've lost so much money dropping those AWPs, and yet again, just every single marginal situation. Zeus, what a savior! That's an incredible kill to get with the time.
Absolutely crazy, and you can see that the pressure is not affecting Na'Vi at the moment. So here is the situation for Big. 3 pistols, 2 M4s. The last thing you want is a reset on the CT side of Nuke when you got reset after the pistol. This could hardly be a worse situation for them on the CT side. But let's see. They can still win this round, and they will most certainly be trying to. But it is Na'Vi with all the tools, the grenades, the guns, to advance position, which they have been able to do, even if some of these rounds have gone down to the wire. Smia looking for some info, but not fighting to the death. Electronic on the flank, and he can hear Smia still running around. He has to wonder, is it a trap? Could somebody be behind Electronic's current position? Either way, Big starting to get cut to pieces. One rifle remains along with the CZ and the Deagle.
Yeah, trying to take those peaks, those 1v1s, being sadly disappointed. And Na'Vi once again just... Every time Na'Vi seem to be in an advantage, they are very good at just closing it down and playing with that advantage. And that's not been the same story for Big in some of these situations, unfortunately for them. And again, as you mentioned, just picked apart one by one. Na'Vi continuing to do damage, to demoralize and defloats Big. It's a nice shot from Tizian, looking for another one, but he will be taken down by the remainder of Na'Vi. And that's 6-2 now as they continue to build upon their score.
Well, the money still sucks for Big. And that's a problem. In this round, Simple's going to start with 6,500, Flamey 7, Electronic 5, the rest a bit lower, but assuming that Na'Vi win this round easily as well, then when Big get back onto their bite, there's so much pressure, just not in just in that round, but in the next round. If they get reset again, that might be GG for this half. So it's a very tall task for Big to clear out the cache of Na'Vi if they want to make a comeback. Got B eating a very meaty grenade to kick things off in this round, but he doesn't have much to fight with anyway. But you always want the numbers alive to swarm. We've got a Deagle and a CZ here with the full armor for next, so if he's able to get something down to pick something up, you want the rest of your team alive to try and abuse the numbers elsewhere as the T start to panic, but that won't be the case, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so grim, such a grim tale here for Big. And you know, I'm thinking back to that moment when we had that interview with Edward and Flamey, and just how Flamey's like, it's just not about our goal is finals. It's everything up until that point is not trivial necessarily, but for us it's just almost a guarantee. And so can see exactly how confident they are with this. And you start to think as well. You start to hope that Big have a good T side in them, because they're going to need it. Because Na'Vi are already off to what you would call a pretty solid T side. 7 rounds of the first 9. And once again, we're back into buy territory here for Big. Smooya can grab an AWP, and we need to see something different here, James, because this is the territory now where things really start to get out of hand for Big. They still have a chance to scrape something back, which can be respectable. They can take control of this half still, but it's really this pivotal moment here with this buy.
A timeout from Big, and they will understand that it's not about this round, it's about the next 3 rounds and all of them going the way of Big. If they get resets again, they might start to creep those nerves to wonder, are we about to leave this tournament unceremoniously? This is arguably their biggest chance at a major, I feel like. I don't think they've ever been more prepared across more maps. But we are still to see it here in the SSE arena. 2 rounds to the 7 of Na'Vi. 3 players just shy of $10,000 for Na'Vi. Again, there's going to be buys after buys after buys after buys. The Big have to withstand all of that if they want even a chance, a sniff at a 3rd map.
We see something here from Big. Edward goes very quickly forward into the outside positions. Tabson playing deep in the garage. We'll spot the drop down, or maybe not. Maybe there's a flash. Can't get a shot off. Edward is laying into them. That's 2 quick kills on the upper bomb site. There are some trades coming in here, but Na'Vi are gaining some ground into that upper bomb site, and that's what's important in this 3v3. Can Big go for the retake here successfully?
Bomb planted very quickly indeed. 3 flashes remain for Na'Vi. No more mollies for the high ground. Now Tizi needs to wait for his teammates to run distraction. He wants someone to look towards main. Electronic to look away from the heaven position. 2 players smoked off. Tizi activated. Simple to trade. Now we're in a 1 versus 1. So we're moving into the hut. So straight, not a straight to Cho's position. having to reload. Tabson has a Molotov and Simple through it already and straight in the face of Simple. Disaster strikes for Big again, 8-2 for Na'Vi.
Oh my goodness, just these clutch moments, again going the way of Na'Vi, showing their quality once again. That was a chance, that was a big chance there for the German and British side, but Simple moves in, shuts down Tabson, star against star, and it was Simple who was clearly shining brighter in that moment as Na'Vi go 8-2, and once again back to the same story here for Big. Pistols, some HE grenades, which likely they will deploy all together outside here, because he got to be leading the charge. Quick timing with that, Suso opens the door, the spray is unleashed, and he's going to find a lot of information for his team. Hello Edwards, it's a bit laboured, but he makes it work, and that is a quick cleanup there of Big's eco rounds and back into the buys again.
Lambs to the slaughter. I don't know if you ever went to Laser Quest, Dan, or Quasar, one of those laser shooting game things.
Well, of course I did, James.
The worst player always got the lambs to the slaughter on their receipt thing at the end, and that was quite the round for Na'Vi. 9-2, Big on the buy again. They have had minimal success in this half, and it's the same story as Dust 2, I think it's fair to say. They are defending. This was their chance to have a great half. They have 2 rounds of 11.
Yeah, and there's been some close moments, but they can't seem to eke it over the line. Maybe this can be different. Tabson doesn't know what's going on. It's very impressive. He even got a frag there, considering how confused he was in that situation. Players surrounding him now. Smuya is going to deliver a frag. That's a 4v3 here now for Big, as they keep tabs on exactly where Na'Vi are moving on the map. You can see Tizian does adjust his position appropriately, and the rest of his teammates will start to tighten things up. Big 1v1 goes the way of Electronic, and that will get Na'Vi back in this round. As you can see, they can join up now to make an attempt at the bomb plant.
Electronic moving wide, but no trade fragger needed. CT's moving down the ramp now. Smear's being dispatched off 2 versus 3. The Molotov stops them from looking wide towards control, cutting across the site and so on. Now more Molotovs being deployed. Flamey spotted at the back, but where are the other 2 players? Flamey spotting the information for the other teams. They'll trade, and now it is 1 versus 1. Electronic with 10 HP, absolutely no fear. 10 HP and 10 rounds for Na'Vi to the 2 of Big.
Oh, it's another 1v1 off the plant situation, James. Another one. And again, Big had that man advantage. You know, there's that 1v1 that Electronic takes there to make it a 3v3. So many moments where, again, the stars for Na'Vi really shine and pull them out of a bad situation. And it is starting to get incredibly bad here for Big, as we get once again the pistols in play as they go for the eco. And Na'Vi quite content to run the full AK setup, don't need an AWP. And they're keeping the pace on fast here. Flamey looking for an early pick in towards the A bomb site. And Zeus to the forward position as well. They are hammering this upper bomb site.
Relentless pressure from Na'Vi. Relentless pressure. Don't give them time to think. Zeus almost getting caught up, but he's got help in the name of Simple. But Anna has been lost and has fallen through the door. That is a very tight choke point, but Nex is trying to force the issue. And Tabson's here at the back. They know that Zeus is still in Pop Dog as well. Man advantage continues for Na'Vi. A flying Tabson takes out Zeus. 2-on-2 to try and control his bomb. And now Edward is going to do it. And 11-2 for Na'Vi.
How many kills were around that door position? That's kind of weird. But I suppose it was an eco round after all. And now we're back into the buys. And it has to change. You know, we keep saying this for Big. You know, it has to change. And you know, this is their chance to maybe get four rounds to work with at least.
The fact that Na'Vi are happy in their booth is quite telling of how dominant this is. Because business as usual is to have some heated conversation. So this is quite the performance from Na'Vi.
Indeed, it is actually.
This is a mirror of the first game.
It's true. Just on different sides. So the CT side is. Or rather, sorry, the T side is the CT side for Big. That's getting shut down so hard, and Smuya changes his position up. We've seen him outside with the AWP many times, but this time can be taking a peek from the secret position. But Na'Vi, they've got so many players coming his way. Must be careful. Tabson looking for anyone coming over the silo area, creeping on top of main. And 3 players here, perhaps, or 4 in fact, for Smuya to deal with. How will he play it?
We are not live, we have been told. For whatever reason, we are NL, not live, not live, not live. And Nex is having an issue, and he will reconnect to the server. So time for Big to think. It was 2-11 in the first game. It is 2-11 in the second game. This would be a very fast dispatching of Big from the tournament. This would be Big jettisoned into the sun, burning in the atmosphere, unceremoniously.
Yeah, it would be just like, it's just a different weight class here. I mean, Na'Vi are playing the heavyweight, and the lightweight comes into the ring and just gets absolutely smashed. You think you're the king of the world, but Na'Vi is really sending a statement to them, saying all the things that they need to do better to step up to the task of defeating Na'Vi, which is so much. Because if we think about the way Na'Vi have been playing, James, these individuals are already just performing their roles incredibly well. If something goes wrong, the individual skill is just so clean and on point that all the clutches go their way as well. So there's so much for Big to adjust to.
A moment to reflect. I think we have seen a slightly nervous Big so far, but it's never too late to turn things around. We've seen many a comeback, but do they have it in them? Nuke appears to be a master stroke for Na'Vi so far, only dropping 2 rounds of 13. And we move into the last 2 rounds of the first half, and we are not far away now.
Yeah, and I think it was a fun point that you mentioned about the temperament in Na'Vi's booth. It is, I think it's Simple that has said, when questioned about how maybe sometimes aggressive things look in the Na'Vi camp when they're communicating with each other, that actually, you know, they're really heated games is where they get to play their best performances. And to see them just happy is really weird. I don't think I've ever really seen that too often from them. So it's interesting to see how that dynamic works. And looks like we'll be going back into the game. Can Big bring themselves back into the game? That's the question.
Maximum of 4 rounds on their CT half, and it doesn't look likely. Can they get past 2? Simple vintage play is opening the squeaky door for AWP. You used to see it from the window as well, but now there is no window in the hut. The window was bricked up.
Oh, see the spam through the wall there and in through to lobby. That's so 1.6. That is amazing. Well, Smuya, once again, staying around that secret position. Again, moving from playing outside with the AWP. Could be what they need. You can take some really strong angles where you can take a shot and then fall back without being traded. You just have to hit the shots. That's all you have to do. And sometimes it sounds a bit more simple than it really is, because when those flashes start coming your way, let's see if Na'Vi do that. Will they flash this or dry peek? It's a dry peek, and Smuya gets it. That's a good start from him.
And he can re-peek again and take another shot if he wants to, but he'll take the safer route. It has been an arduous task for him to get some kills in this game of Nuke, and Edward will get taken out. Not quite working for him. Tizian needs to move away from the grenades. We've seen plenty of them up there from the teasers they planted on the back of B. 3 versus 5. 3 CTs towards that ramp position. Nexon got B or elsewhere. How do Na'Vi do some damage at the very least in this round? Simple trying to do as much as he can, but he'll settle with that one.
Yeah, that is so important, just thinning those numbers ever so slightly. Zeus helps out the cause as well, picks off one himself. And now a 3v3 all of a sudden. That is a really big start here for Na'Vi in this afterpart. But Tash has something to say about it. But around the smoke, Zeus does more damage. Now down to Smuya with the AWP. It couldn't be more awkward. These T players playing control room there, throwing an ace. He goes forwards, doesn't know which way to look. He finishes him off, and it's another round, James, where a 5v3 turns into a win for Na'Vi, the team being on the 3.
A 5 versus 3. They get 1 kill out of it, unable to trade. Nuke proving to be very difficult for Big.
And I love that from Na'Vi. You know, again, it's a situation with 3v5. If we're going to win this round, we have to find a way to take the initiative quickly, send them into disarray, get a pick. They send Simple with a flash, and that's exactly what it does.
Na'Vi dropping an AWP in... Oh, they've got an auto sniper. Simple, what are you doing with that? Where is Simple going with the auto sniper? This is very curious. There is an AWP, an AK, sorry, and an AWP behind him, so they have the choice of all the tools. This is cheeky, this is VM, and I think it's just a great confidence play. Even if it gets no kills, then just let it ring out, just to depress your opponent a little more.
Yeah, and Nuke can be such an unforgiving map when you feel like you can't get chances to do stuff, and that must be how Big feel. And I'm scared for them that that auto sniper is going to do some damage, but we'll see. It is indeed a 4v5 here for Na'Vi, so they're off on the worst foot. but they do have the better weaponry overall. And Smooya spots ahead. Oh no, he couldn't find the connection. That's a massively big miss there for him. And now we get Tizian stepping up to the plate, doing the damage, being the guy that Big needs, James. He's going to actually secure for them the third round on the board. That's something at the very least.
It is something. Every round important towards the end there for Big. But now they must do it the hard way. 12 rounds just to tie the score on the T side. Now, they won the pistol in the first half. They need to win the pistol in the second. Na'Vi won both pistols in the first game, but winning the pistol has only been good for 3 rounds, 3 completely separated rounds in this game so far. 6 seconds until we continue. A lot of utility on the Big clan. Where on earth are they headed?
Again, deep breaths, this pistol rounds, as you mentioned, it can be so impactful. Na'Vi, they've got so much confidence, they can take some big risks here, really put salt in the wound for the Big side. See the push outside coming in here from Flamey, let's see what damage he can do. And we'll see whether or not there is any play here for Big in the early phases of this round. So far, not too much, but now the nades start flying, and we get the shots ringing there from Simple. Takes an elevated position. There is one, taking down Smooya. More to follow, perhaps, as Simple pushes the issue. Tizian says no once again, and they'll continue to push into the upper bomb site as they would lays the fire down. It is quite the brawl here, going 1 for 1 both teams, but finally, perhaps there could be a chance here. It is indeed going to go the way of Big, and that's exactly what they needed.
It is indeed. That did go to Big. I think it said Na'Vi on the screen, but it definitely was Big, so don't worry about that. Kremlin in the system. Nice shot from Tizian. He's been on point at the very least, but most of the points have been in the faces or Big. But here we go. That is the first round on the board. Can they get a consecutive round now? If they did win this round, it would be their first consecutive round so far. The pistol's out for Na'Vi, the scout on Simple, and pretty much all of Na'Vi have been looking pretty hot. Edward has had a lot of focus on him of late, but he's looking really good so far. So don't assume any round is for free here. Simple looking for something, looking for a tag. Smooth's taking light damage. But what is the play here from Big? Flamey's been looking dangerous with this Desert Eagle running distraction, because Electronic is lined up, but there'll be no frag for either.
4 MAC-10s, what you gonna do? Looks like Zeus with the 5-7, looking for some cheeky shots with the door, get flashed away, and the MAC-10s will do their job. And a very clean and simple round here from Big, not overcomplicating things, and that's one of the reasons why the MAC-10s can be fun. You know, you can easily run together and accurately, with that running accuracy, do some good damage, trade out for each other, move quickly, to really make sure this round goes your way, and it has gone very well for them. There was some, I was worried when we were watching Flamey's perspective, holding those angles of the deagle. I can just see it happening, those headshots coming in, but Big will avoid all of that noise and continue on to convert. And that's good to see, because as you mentioned, James, it's not really been the trend, has it?
1 round at a time. 1 round 7 times to tie the score, but just one by one. Keep a read of your opponent's economy, your expectations. And again, it's Big. They are one of the teams with the strap work. And yeah, it has not been the case, Dan. These consecutive rounds. They look good for this round though, unless Edward goes absolutely interstellar with this deagle. There are now 3 P250s as well. So it's still a dangerous one. Looks like a fast play into the A bomb site with a timing for some flashbangs. Looking towards the roof, spotting one player there. No bouncing Zeus play, but the MAC-10 will be enough. 3 kills, and that is a very clean take of the A site. Double Molotovs at the top, only one will do the job. And that's pretty much this round done. So there we go. Big looking to move to half the score of their opponent. And then who knows from there.
Yeah, this is what you love to see. Can they keep it clean? Oh, yes. Beautiful. And yeah, that's absolutely what you want to see. It's Big running a similar kind of round, very fast with the MAC-10s. You don't give the pistols any time to really do anything. It's very easy for you to gain space quickly, to get the position you want, to get the bomb down. Those MAC-10s are really good in those rounds. So good to see that for Big. It pays off. And you know, now we start to see, okay, you know, what does Na'Vi got in under their sleeves? You know, of course, we won't see the AWP just yet. Our economy's a bit too frail for that. But we will have some M4s and some light utility. So they're always a danger, as you said.
tabseN moving to the outside. Zeus and Electronic outside. Zeus has made his way into main. He's got some spray, but there are so many targets for him. And the grenades continue. Will they expect Simple on the hut, however? That is a question. And now they know got B taken out. 4 on 4. Virtus Pro has a great double HE executes towards that main position as well. And we may have seen a similar thing there from Big. So many grenades, couldn't keep track of them all, but here we are.
One thing to think about as well is that Electronic and Flamey do not have helmets, and so that means the MAC-10s will be slightly more powerful than otherwise. And it is a worry having those, two MAC-10s in a round where you're up against these rifles. Can they really perform? Well, if you are lucky enough to face off against the players with no helmets, they can absolutely deliver. And we'll see the smokes outside, so that's going to suggest. Oh dear! Oh dear! There's a miscommunication there about where the smokes are supposed to go. Don't think it matters too much though. Anyway, as push comes into the A-bomb sites.
Nerves, Dan. Nerves. Will it get to them? They start to creep in. Edward, how many kills is he good for? There's a 1v1. Really expect more players though. There's a second one taken out by Flamey. Is it a crossfire for the CTs? They are shutting this down. tabseN with 8 HP versus 3 players. He needs one shots. He needs to avoid grenades. Electronic has the HE. But I don't know if he's in position. There is the first one. Moving away again, just in case. He has the bomb. But they'll get these sound cues. Flamey is above him in the A-bomb site. They know where tabseN is, and now the rotation is starting. There are 18 seconds to plant this bomb. Will he even be allowed? Look at him by the door, Electronic. tabseN's got the right plant though.
Here's the running. Can he get a quick shot? No. Denied by Electronic, and Edward, absolutely the hero of that round. It really looked like they were going to lose the rounds. Edward gets that second 1v1. It really feels like he shouldn't be getting that, but just credit to Edward being able to adjust so quickly. And then here it is. You just see the frags start to stream in as then Flamey's in position and has Edward to play off of. Oh, that's another round that's really hard to lose, James. That's really difficult for Big. They know they should have had that.
I feel like we're seeing some really uncharacteristic things here from Big. Again, 2 smokes in the same place. I don't think I've ever seen that from this team.
True.
And again, they have these booths are elevated. They can see the entire crowd, and I do wonder.
Oh, that's scary.
And it's next level harassment.
They've gone for the double orbs here on the T side of Nuke. That's interesting. The orbs are not very mobile, not very dynamic. So with the AKs, you can move very quickly as a team. So the orbs, and having double orbs means that you have more of an investment in trying to get pickoffs. And if the CT side knows how to deny those, then it can be very difficult. You play a slow round, then you have to push into a bomb site. With the orbs, it gets very awkward.
High flash. Now, if somebody's further away, the flash only lasts for a very short period of time. Sometimes you need not even look away. Flamey hears footsteps towards the cyber and towards ramp, but that's a great position from him. The gun exposes got B's position, and Big are falling to pieces once more. 3 versus 5. The bomb has been lost on the ramp. Could even get smoked off later on. Maybe not smoked off, but there is a molly in play, and now there are 2 players towards that ramp position. Once again, it's a disastrous situation for Big, and these players need to frag out. But as soon as Nex looks away, maybe the CTs will start to push. You saw the flank was coming in, but Nex has been dealt with, it seems. Now we've got tabseN and Smooya remaining. Spots one player, but he can't get a kill, and that's Smooya's alone in a 1 versus 4, with Na'Vi looking to move towards 14 rounds. Very strong position for the CT side.
This is getting kind of hard to watch for from Big's perspective. It's really difficult to see them, in some of these positions that they're in, looking like they're not as confident as they normally are, as you say, missing some of that, utility or miscommunication, or whether it's the pressure, what it is that's getting to them. But for Na'Vi, I mean, obviously they're having a good time here, and we're going to see Big pulling out the UMP, the CZs, the MAC-10. Signs of a desperate time for Big.
To see Smooya talking to the team, discussing something, what they want to do with a very limited setup. Smokes being lined up. Will they be in the right places this time? There's one, there's the other one, and there is a Molotov behind them. So, round of applause. However, they were pretty ill-timed. One going down very early, and I think Na'Vi will be confident that there is no player in Secret at the moment. Electronic standing in those smokes towards Secret, so they can focus elsewhere, Na'Vi.
That's a pretty decent nade from Zeus as well. Really feeling that push coming into play. Simple goes close with the AWP. The battle sniper got Edward up high for support as he gains damage from that position. Good bonus. Oh, the shotgun comes out, but
and a 360 MLG!
Simple gets it done. Tizian taken down, left to Tabson. He is eliminated as well. Simple putting that all straight through his chest, and that is 15-6. Match point here for Na'Vi to move into those semis.
Simple's playing Call of Duty on the A bomb site. Spinning around with a PlayStation controller and still getting a kill. Match point for Na'Vi. Just a 6 rounds for Big. Another 4 spike, 2 rifles, a bunch of pistols and bits and bobs and pops and pans for Big. A tactical timeout from them. Next hasn't bought just yet. This is a nightmare for Big.
At this point, you know, what is there left to say? What is there left to do? 1 round, and that's Na'Vi through, and that's Big eliminated. Deep breath here as the headsets go back on.
There we go. 10 seconds now. What may be the last round for Big. It's been 3 rounds in a row for Na'Vi. Since the buy round, basically, it has been all black and yellow. They are so well equipped, Simple with the AWP. They've got 2 AKs on their team. They've got more AKs than the T side.
Simple so ready for this. Na'Vi starting off well. Edward picks off Gobby, finds the headshot. Simple making shots, moving around, constantly repositioning, even though he hasn't been spotted just yet. Rattling off shots left and right as Smia looks for the peak. Simple is in such a deep position at this point, it's going to be hard to find him. Oh, he spots an elbow, finds the shot onto Tabson. There's the trade coming up, and it's a 2 versus 3 here now for Big. His next trades, it is chaos in the outside positions as they desperately try to scrape together another round.
All over the place, but one CT can hear them. Flamey taken out now, next versus 2. Does he dare even pick up a stronger weapon? He doesn't have the bomb just yet. He's looking for players maneuvering into better positions instead. He has a minute on the clock. Now, Zeus is moving through Secret. He's not going to be found anytime soon. Edward is on that ramp position, but Next is so far away. This is such a long rotation. He can't really afford to go around that way. So we'll take the high ground advantage now. We're asking a lot of Next. He knows he can't walk all the way here. It would compromise too much time. Checking the outside, he has to assume that they know where he is now. And indeed, I'm pretty sure they do. 29 seconds. Bomb has been collected. You can see Edward in the held position. Next is going to get shot in the back surely. Gets around the corner just in time. Edward playing passive. 17 seconds now. He's got to plant this bomb. Edward on the ramp. Zeus in the vents. Will he find the right angle?
He's going to get crunched. There's nothing left to do. 16-6. Na'Vi straight through to the semis here at London. And what a performance from them. From start to finish, pure class. This is a team that's bringing a new level to this major. And Big, they couldn't find their level, James. They